So we've got most of it here. So the first violation of the agreement, an Israeli forces opened fire on Hezbollah members, which, you know, obviously we know probably civilians, that had arrived in the village of Kfar Kila, and that was reported in Khan Hebrew. Israeli artillery fired 5 shells towards the vicinity of the Fatima border, which is near Qiyam in South Lebanon. So that was the first breach. The second breach was the Israeli occupation forces fired bursts of gunfire towards residents in the city of Qiyam as they attempted to inspect their homes in a northeastern neighborhood in South Lebanon. Drone sound can also clearly be heard in the video as well. So you can hear all of the drones flying about and the gunshots. There wasn't meant to be any of this, you know. There was meant to be a complete ceasefire. We did go through the whole conditions last stream. If you guys want to go on my YouTube channel, you can go and look. There's a video I've done called Lebanon Ceasefire. It's only like 5 minutes I cut out from my last stream. So if you guys want to read through and see what they was actually meant to be sticking by, you can. On to the next ceasefire violation. Ceasefire violation number 3. Despite the start of the ceasefire agreement, an Al Jazeera correspondent was forced to end the broadcast after Israeli soldiers fired warning shots at civilians attempting to move around in the Qiyam of southern Lebanon. So much for the ceasefire. There wasn't meant to be any of this. No warplanes, no drones, no gunfire, none of it. A 60-day full withdrawal. Let the Lebanese citizens go back to their homes, get what they need to do. You know, do whatever they want to do. It's up to them. It's their land, you know. But yeah, Israel can't help themselves. Yeah, we've seen a lot of comments about Syria. Of course, they shifted resources to the war in Syria. I completely agree with you, brother. It's so convenient, the timing of all this, that as soon as the ceasefire happens, I think it was the day after, that the escalations it went out of control in Syria. You know, it's not even escalations, it's complete invasion of terrorists and all of that. So, number 4, ceasefire violation number 4. The Israeli occupation army announced the arrest of 4 Lebanese individuals claiming that they belonged to Hezbollah on the pretext of entering villages near the border in southern Lebanon. So, they're back to their kidnapping, they're back to arresting random citizens, you know. It's ridiculous. They don't even, like, what business have they got to arrest citizens in Lebanon? Ceasefire violation number 5. Israeli occupation forces deliberately shot a journalist in South Lebanon. So you can see as the ceasefire violations build up, they're getting worse. And they deliberately shot a journalist in southern Lebanon. And the video shows the moment a photographer named Mohammed al-Satari, and he was injured in the town of Al-Qiyam, sorry if I've said it wrong. And he was shot twice in the leg as a result of the gunfire by the Israeli army. So let's watch the video. You can literally, now the beginning of the video, you can see the bullets like ricocheting off the floor here, look. If you look around this area. See that? I mean, Israel can't help themselves, man. They can't help themselves. I don't know if you guys have been following this for a long time or even following it since last year. Because you remember last year when the Gaza ceasefire took place, they was doing the same thing. They was literally executing civilians that was going to pick up aid. They was shooting at random citizens just for fun. I mean, they're barbaric demons, you know. They can't help themselves, honestly. Yeah. What's the next ceasefire violation? So, number 6. Journalist Mara Osman was reporting from the entrance of Qiyam in southern Lebanon that residents cannot return to their town because the Israeli army remains stationed there shooting at anyone who tries to go back. I mean, what type of sick people just shoot at people trying to go back to their homes for fun? Like, there's like old videos as well from like the West Bank. I posted one, I remember, on my account. It's from like 2018 or something. And there's like Israeli forces, and they post up and they start shooting at random civilians, and then they're videoing it, and then they literally call the civilians an ambulance, like, and act like that wasn't them. Like, these people are sick in the head. They've been doing this, you know, since however long. And look, you can see that there is a lot of ceasefire violations, so we are going to quickly breeze through them. Ceasefire breach number 7. 3 civilians were injured in an Israeli drone strike that targeted a car in the border town of Makaba in southern Lebanon. Number 8. There's obviously the ceasefire the US and France helped secure between the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah and Israel appeared to be largely holding Wednesday after hours it took effect. So yeah, CBS News basically reported that they know that shit's been going on, and when CBS News reports it, then you know Israel are definitely fucking up. Like the mainstream media are even fucking calling you out now. Number 9, ceasefire violation. Israel targeted the town of Qiyam and the Margian plain. Sorry, I know my pronunciations of these places aren't spot on. With artillery shells and machine gun bursts heard in... We did just hear her say it. Qiyam, I'm not sure. Qiyam. Maybe that's how you say it. 1 injury as a result of the artillery shelling targeted the Al Taiba Square. Number 10. Israel is now preventing the Lebanese from returning to their homes. They sent a message out saying, until further notice, you are prohibited from moving south to the following villages and their surroundings, as well as these villages. I'm not going to embarrass myself and try and pronounce all of these town names, but you can see them all on the screen here. The Israeli Defense Forces do not intend to harm you. Of course they don't, even though they're just shooting journalists for fun. You are prohibited from returning to these areas until further notice. Anyone who does endangers themselves. So when the hell was this part of the ceasefire that they can start demanding shit like this? This was never part of it. An Israeli tank fire hit 6 areas in southern Lebanon on I'm not sure what day that was. Well, it says last Thursday on here, but probably has gone past that. Oh, it probably was actually last Thursday. And the Israeli military said its ceasefire with Hezbollah was breached after what it called suspects, summoned vehicles, arrived at several areas in the southern zone. Israel's escalation attacks on border towns in South Lebanon is intended to prevent residents from returning and to leave the area scorched despite the ceasefire. And someone said, I've been in Kiryat Shmona for a few hours now, and according to the amount of IOF fire on Lebanese territory, we are very far from a ceasefire. So yeah, the ceasefire is not, it's basically not even happening, you know, it's just for the media to make Israel look good, you know. Israel was blowing up and demolishing houses as well. There's a video. This was meant to be, you know, ceasefire time, and they're doing this shit. So you can see them there. That was the one when they built the home, and then here they're like, you know, destroying homes and shit like they do in the West Bank and Gaza. And number 13, Israel raided on the Tebna area between Al-Bisri and Tefda, South Lebanon. They also violated the ceasefire agreement several times on today, targeting lands with various weapons. We're following up on a bit, blah, blah, blah. And, yeah, they was opening fire on citizens in Bint Jebel overnight. And 2 people were injured after the Israeli occupations opened fire on residents in Bint Jebel in South Lebanon. Number 18, Israeli forces consisting of 4 tanks and 2 bulldozers are penetrating one of the western neighbourhoods that they did not enter during the confrontations, and which the resistance held out throughout the period of the occupation, and now they occupy under the shadow of the ceasefire in violation of this resolution. And number 19, the most recent one on the updates, the Israeli army fired at civilians during a burial ceremony in Qiyam in South Lebanon. So that's just fucking, these people are sick in the head. Now what is wrong with these people, man? Now what's the objective in this shit? Shooting at random civilians at a burial ceremony. And that's just like, that's 19 ceasefire violations that have just been reported by that one account and just probably been recorded, you know? How many ceasefire violations haven't been recorded, and how many, you know, ceasefire violations maybe we haven't noticed or seen on X?